Your Honor, the government calls Zareh Sarkissian.
Thank you. Please have a seat. I'll ask you to please state and spell your name.
Zareh Sarkissian. Zarkissission.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, do you have a nickname?
Yes, Zach or Puff.
How old are you?
40.
And what year were you born?
1974.
Are you in jail now?
Yes, I am.
What are you in jail for?
I'm in jail for RICO, murder, as well as carjacking that led to a murder.
And were you part of a criminal group?
Yes, I was.
I'd like you to look around the courtroom right now and see if you recognize anybody who was also part of your criminal group. And you can just say yes or no to beginning with.
Yes.
Can you tell us who you recognize and what they are wearing or he is wearing or them?
I recognize the gentleman wearing white with the white cap.
Who is that?
eBay.
Okay, the defendant for the record. All right, the record will so reflect.
And this gentleman in the light blue shirt, the dress shirt.
Who is that?
That's World.
Identified, Your Honor.
All right. You pled guilty, you said, to a RICO murder and a carjacking murder. Is that right?
Correct.
Did you plead guilty under an agreement with the government?
Yes, I did.
I'm going to show you what's been marked for as Exhibit 78 for identification.
All right, that's the cooperation agreement, right?
That is.
You want it in evidence? I suspect there is no objection to it in evidence.
No objection.
All right, it's in at this time.
Exhibit 78 is your cooperation agreement. Is that correct, Mr. Sarkissian?
Yes.
And under the crimes that you pled guilty to, do you know what the mandatory minimum sentence is?
Yes.
What's that?
What is it? Or what is it the mandatory?
What the mandatory minimum sentence? What do you understand that to be?
That the judge cannot go below that when sentencing me. This is the lowest he can go.
For your RICO murder charge, what is your mandatory minimum sentence?
Life.
For your carjacking murder charge, is there a mandatory minimum sentence that goes along with that?
Yes, I believe it's 0 to life.
Okay, so the minimum you can get is 0.
On the carjacking murder.
And the maximum is life.
Yes.
Correct. Under your agreement with the government. What do you have to do?
I have to testify. I have to. Even before that, I have to meet with the government and tell them everything that I know.
What about the information that you give to the government?
It has to be truthful.
What?
Or else I can't break the mandatory minimum.
And you'll do life, correct?
Correct.
Do you know who decides whether you fulfilled your agreement or not?
Yes, the government decides.
Once you fulfill your side of the agreement, what does the government agree to do?
They will file a motion on my behalf. It's called a 5K1.
Do you know what goes into that?
Yes, it will reflect the charges and all the bad things I did, as well as details of my cooperation as well.
Once that letter is filed, what's the effect of that?
It will allow the judge to break the mandatory minimum during sentencing.
Sitting here, do you know what your sentence is going to be?
No.
Has anyone promised you what your sentence will be?
No.
Do you know who sentences you?
Who will sentence me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it the judge?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not the judge will know about the various crimes that you've admitted to in the course of your cooperation?
Yes, he will.
Do you know whether the judge can consider those crimes to increase your sentence? For instance, the RICO murder or the carjacking murder.
I'm sure he'll consider it.
When were you arrested?
In 2005.
A little louder. Yeah, just test it out. All right, you can keep your voice up and we'll probably be okay.
I'm a little soft-spoken to begin with.
All right, so you just test it out, all right? Go ahead.
When were you arrested?
In July of 2005.
Have you been in jail since then?
Yes, I have.
Have you gotten in some trouble since you've been in jail?
A little bit.
What happened?
I was caught with a knife on me and a cigarette lighter on one occasion, and then on another occasion, I lent out my phone pack number for someone to dial out maybe 3 or 4 calls.
So just to clarify, when you were in jail, you have a specific account that applies just to you for your phone, is that right?
Correct.
And you loaned your phone account to somebody else, is that right?
That's right.
And were you punished for those things?
Yes.
And approximately when did those things occur?
In 2006 and in 2008. And then I had one more incident report about 1.5 or 2 years ago.
For what?
Untidy room. My cellmate left a mug on top of the locker, so we both got a ticket.
Where did you grow up?
In Queens.
Who was in your household?
My mother, my father, my 2 siblings.
Did you get into any trouble when you were young?
Yes, I did.
What kind of trouble?
I played hooky and did not obey my parents, run away from home.
Did you get involved in drugs?
Yes, I did.
How so?
I used drugs.
Did your parents do anything when you started to get in trouble?
Yeah. They reached out to family court for help, and they put out a PINS warrant on me, which is person in need of supervision.
What happened as a result of that?
They arrested me and put me in youth homes.
Where were those?
I went to one place in Tryon, which was in Johnstown, upstate New York, and then after that, I went to a group home in Glens Falls, New York.
About how old were you?
I would say I was about 16.
How long did you stay in the group home, approximately?
8 months.
What did you do after you got out of that?
My father came to see me upstate, and he got me a studio apartment and insisted that I stay up there because I had been doing so well in school. So I continued going to school at Glens Falls High School, and I graduated. And then I continued to go on to the community college out there.
While you were upstate, did you get involved in any criminal activity?
Yes, I did.
What did you do?
There was a couple of occasions where a friend of mine up there knew that I was from the city and were to visit my family every so often, and I purchased cocaine from New York and I brought it up to Glens Falls.
What did you do with it up there?
He sold it and gave me some of the proceeds.
You said you went to college. Did you get a degree?
Yes, I did.
What kind of degree?
A business and finance degree.
Specifically, did you get an associate's degree?
Yes,
That was a 2-year degree?
it was.
What did you do once you finished that degree?
I moved back to New York to my family, and I helped my dad out with his real estate management business. And I also went to a few firms looking for employment as a stockbroker, and I went and I passed my Series 7 and 63 and became licensed as a broker and started working as a broker.
Series 7 and 63, what are those?
Those are the exams that you have to pass to become a stockbroker, a licensed stockbroker.
Your father, and just so the record is clear, your father has a business where he owns real estate. Is that right?
Correct.
Did you end up working for a brokerage firm?
I did.
How long did you work for the brokerage firm?
About 1.5 years.
Before you started working there, did you get arrested?
Yes.
What was it for?
I was arrested for a gun charge.
What were you doing with a gun?
I used to carry a gun because I used to go collect rents from my father. He had a property in Washington Heights at the time. It was very dangerous. And I had the pistol on me. And I was pulled over on a routine traffic stop. And instead of just giving me a ticket, I was pulled out of the car and searched. And I had the gun on me, and I was charged for it.
Did you have the gun illegally?
Yes, I did.
Did you plead guilty to something?
I did.
Do you remember what that was?
Yes, it was a misdemeanor.
A weapon charge?
Yes.
Do you remember what your sentence was?
Probation.
Did you successfully complete probation?
Yes, I did.
You said you worked for a brokerage firm. What were you doing for them?
I was opening accounts. I first opened accounts for my manager, And then when I got up to like 20 accounts, I was able to go on my own and open my own book. I used to, trade stock for clients. And after a while, when I built up a certain amount of...
If I could interrupt you there, when you say you got opened accounts and had a book, does that mean that you actually had people who would give you money to invest?
Yes. I would cold call people and open accounts with them and convince them to send me money to invest.
And you were about to say, after you built up your book, something happened.
Yeah. I was building up my books, like for instance, I would have, let's say, 20 clients, and each client I would convince to send more and more money to buy good stocks, like GE or whatever was, a good stock at the time. And then when my manager saw that I had a certain amount of net worth in my book, he told me to start buying house stocks. These were stocks that were manipulated by the firm that I worked for.
Did you do that?
I did that. And then after doing that, shortly thereafter, the stocks dropped in value considerably, and I lost the clients.
What happened to the client's money?
They lost their money.
When you were doing that, were you doing something dishonest?
Yes.
So you eventually stopped working there, right?
Yes, I did.
What ended up ending your employment there?
I wanted to make a career out of it, so I felt like if I stayed there, it was like a boiler room operation. So I wanted to find a job at a higher-tiered firm that, I could make a career out of it, basically, instead of burning clients' money.
So what did you do?
I went around giving out resumes to various brokerage firms, but no one would call me back.
Did you quit your job at the brokerage firm you had been working at?
I did.
And were you ever hired again by another brokerage firm?
No. I waited and I waited, and I checked back with the firms that I left resumes with, but no one called me.
Before you left your job at the brokerage firm, what were you doing with your free time?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
At some point while you were working for the brokerage firm, did you go to Brooklyn?
Oh, yes.
Can you explain to the jury what the circumstances were and where you went?
I would go to underground strip clubs and gambling dens.
How did you find those?
There was another broker in my firm who introduced me to those places.
Did you meet someone, before that, at some point did you buy a car?
Yes, I did.
What kind of car?
A Mercedes CLK 430 convertible.
What color was it?
Silver.
Do you remember about when you bought that car?
The year 2000.
When was it that you worked at the brokerage firm?
98 to 99.
You stopped working there sometime in 1999.
Around then.
All right. Do you know someone named Taz?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to show you what's in evidence as Exhibit 19.
That's Taz.
How did you meet Taz?
He was running one of the gambling dens.
Do you remember where it was?
On Throop Avenue or Street.
Did you know what neighborhood it was in?
I believe it was Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Had you spent time in Bedford-Stuyvesant before going to this gambling den?
Not much.
And how is it that you actually, first of all, what did you do at the gambling club? I assume gambling, right?
Yeah, gamble.
What kind of games?
There were dice games.
Did you get to know Taz by going to the club?
Yes.
And did your relationship with Taz progress beyond just the gambling spot?
Eventually it did.
Can you explain that to the jury?
Yes. I started hanging out with him more during the day. I would meet him at his house and we would pretty much hang out. We go to the mall and we just hang out in front of his place. And he let me know that what else he was involved in besides the gambling den.
Okay. After you left your job at the brokerage firm, were you spending time with Taz?
Yes.
How often would you see him?
At least a few times a week.
You said that he let you know what he did for a living other than the gambling spot. What did he tell you?
He told me that he would sell drugs.
Did he tell you any more details about his drug dealing?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
He said that he sold drugs on the street a little bit on Quincy, and that he sold drugs out of town in Virginia. And then he also was able to sell drugs in LG, which is Lafayette Gardens.
What is Lafayette Gardens?
It's a housing project.
Is that in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn?
Yes.
Have you been there before?
Yes, I have.
Did Taz explain to you how he was able to sell the drugs in LG or Lafayette Gardens?
Yeah. I said that he was very, very close to World, who had control over the projects.
Okay.
So he was able to do that.
Now, did Taz have any connection to Coney Island that you know of?
Oh, that too, yeah. He had family there. He had a girlfriend with 2 children in Coney Island. And he also was attempting to build up a drug business over there too.
At some point during 1999, did you get involved in any of Taz's drug activities?
Yes.
What happened?
On one occasion, I went down to Virginia with him. We drove down.
What was the purpose of that trip?
To, basically scout out an old place he used to sell drugs at and to see if he could get the business going again.
What did you do to scout the place out?
We went there with some drugs and gave it to some workers there. And, waited to see and hear what was going on. If, it was a good place to sell drugs in anymore like it had been for him years before. He said, years before, he had success there. Lots of success.
Do you know how the drugs got to Virginia?
We drove them down there.
They were in the car.
Yes, they were.
It was just the 2 of you, or did anybody else go?
On one occasion, it was me and him, his girlfriend, and a woman that he used to use as like a mule because she used to keep the drugs on her, or inside her, rather. And another occasion we went down with, I believe it was a guy named Frog.
F-R-O-G, Frog.
F-R-O-G.
Okay, what happened on that trip?
Same as the first trip. We went down with some drugs and gave it to somebody to sell, and we brought back some of the money, or most of it, or whatever was supposed to come back, a few thousand, and then we came back up.
Did you ever invest money with Taz?
Yes, I did.
Can you explain that?
He told me there was a pilot for Nigeria Airline that was smuggling pure heroin back to the United States, and he was doing a few kilos at a time, and we could get a wholesale price on pure heroin, which was about
It's okay, go ahead.
$20,000 or $30,000 a kilo. And I invested with him, but nothing ever came back from there. I always got excuses from, the pilot is not reachable right now, or he's on another mission or something or another. And months would go on, and he would just, basically count me out of the money, it seemed like.
Approximately how much money did you give him?
Around $30,000.
Where did you get it?
Well, I had some savings, and my grandparents had given me a bunch of money too, so...
Did you ever get any of that money back?
No.
You mentioned someone named Frog. Did something happen during the course of your relationship with Taz with respect to Frog?
Yes.
What was that?
Taz told me one time in private that Frog had attempted to sleep with his girlfriend and that he wanted to get him back for that someday by killing him, and if I would help him with that.
Did you agree?
I did agree.
Did you ever do anything to forward that plan, move that plan forward?
No, we didn't.
During this time in 1999, after you left your brokerage firm, were you carrying a gun?
Yes.
How often would you carry a gun?
Every day.
Where did you get it?
I got it from Taz.
Do you know someone named Abubakar Rahim?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to show you Government Exhibit 15, which I believe is also in evidence. Is that the person?
That's Abubakar.
How did you meet Abubakar?
I met him through Taz. How shall I explain it? I did check cashing fraud with him. Check fraud with him. With Abubakar.
Can you explain that a little more?
Yes. I printed out checks using a check software that I had purchased from Staples, and we had some stolen checking account numbers, and I handed them to Abubakar, and he, through his channels, tried to get them cashed.
Did he succeed?
Well, he gave me back like $600 to $800.
How much were the fraudulent checks worth?
A few thousand. I would say about 5,000 to 10,000.
What happened to the rest of the checks, according to Abubakar?
He said they didn't clear. Something happened. The bank stopped them.
Okay.
I couldn't verify that, but...
Did you ever meet someone named Moo, M-O-O?
Yes.
How did you meet Moo?
I met Moo through Taz.
I'm going to show you Government Exhibit 3 in evidence. Do you recognize that person?
Yes, that's Moo.
How did you meet Moo?
Through Taz.
Can you explain a little more, like who he was?
Yeah. He was... I don't know how to explain it really. He squatted in an abandoned building and Taz knew him for years. I don't know exactly, much about him except for the...
Can you compare... I'm sorry if I missed it, but can you just compare his age to yours?
His age to mine?
Yeah, Moo.
I would say he's much older than me.
Are you about approximately the same age as Taz?
I'm 40. Yeah, about.
You mentioned Lafayette Gardens and World. Had you heard the name World before you actually met him?
Yes, I did. I spoke to him on the phone.
Okay, I'm asking you about learning about World, learning that there was a person named World.
Oh, yes.
How did you learn that?
Through Taz.
What did he tell you about that?
Taz used to describe the World and LG projects. Because when we spoke about the drugs, as I mentioned before, and he said that he could sell drugs in LG, and he sold drugs in Virginia, and so on and so forth, he went on to explain a little deeper to me about LG, and he told me the story about how World and Wise were brothers, and that they had control of the projects, the drug trade in the entire projects. And that while World was away in jail, his brother was killed over, some guys were trying to muscle in on the territory, take advantage of the fact that World wasn't home. And they had murdered his brother, Wise. But when World would come out, it would be a lot of bloodshed.
When World came home from prison, Taz anticipated there would be a lot of bloodshed.
Yes.
Is that connected to the murder of Wise?
Yes.
Did you remember meeting people who actually lived in Lafayette Gardens?
I did. I met 4. I've met eBay and Boo.
I'm going to show you Government Exhibit 4 in evidence. Do you recognize who that is?
My screen is not on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Government Exhibit 4. Thanks, Mike.
Here you go, sorry.
That's Thor.
How did you meet Thor?
Taz introduced me to Thor.
Do you know what Thor did for a living?
Yeah. Before I met Thor, Taz told me that he was the enforcer for World, and he would sell drugs also. He would sell heroin for him in the projects.
Eventually, did you become close friends with Thor?
Yes.
Do you know whether Thor was part of a crew or a group?
Yes. Thor was part of the LG group, the gang, at the LG group.
Do you know whether Thor had a cousin?
Yes. He had a cousin. His name was Kiddo.
Did you know what Kiddo did for money?
He sold drugs too. I seen him sell drugs right in front of LG before.
I'm going to skip in time a little bit, but did Thor have a nephew?
Yes, he did. His name was Del.
Did Thor tell you anything about what his nephew was doing?
Yeah, his nephew used to sell drugs in LG as well.
Did he tell you anything about World in connection with that?
Yeah, well, Del used to sell drugs in LG for World. And there was one time when I remember that Thor told me World was upset at Del because he was not coming back with the right amount of money that he should have.
You said that you spoke with World before you met him in person, is that correct?
Yes. He had called Taz's house one time while I happened to be there, and Taz told him, "Oh, by the way, I have a friend here, a new friend. Say hello." And I spoke to him. I said, "Hey, World, what's up, I've heard about you. It's good news that you're coming out soon. I'm sorry to hear about your brother. And, hope to see you soon. We're out here. Whatever you need, just let us know."
Okay, did you meet someone named Boo?
I have met Boo before.
All right, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Government Exhibit 5, which is in evidence. Do you recognize who that is?
Yeah, that's Boo.
And how did you meet Boo?
I met Boo a few times in front of LG, and then I was with him the night of Daryl Baum's murder.
What did you know about Boo from spending time with the gang in LG?
I heard that he was also a shooter. one of the shooters for World.
You said that, well, were you there when World came home from jail?
Yes, I was there that day. We picked him up from Queens, the jail which he got discharged from.
Who were you with?
I was with Thor, eBay, Abu Baker, Taz.
And do you remember anything that happened that day?
We went to eat, and after that, I dropped them off.
At some point after World came home, did you spend time with him?
Yes, I did.
All right, can you explain, first of all, what your interest was in spending time with World?
Well, I heard that he was the big guy in LG, that whatever he said went, and that at one time they were making a lot of money there. And since I had lost the money with Taz, I fixated on that loss and I said, let me double down and see if I can get in with World, and through him put money out in LG and make that work, and maybe recoup my loss, and maybe make some money on top of that.
You said you started spending time with World, correct?
Yes.
Did you spend time with him in groups or alone, or both?
Both.
Can you explain what you would do with him with groups, in a group?
With groups, we would go out to nightclubs, usually places like Envy and Tunnel.
And what happened at the nightclubs?
One time I was with him and Germ, another friend of his, and I remember there was some brawling going on. The guy's chain got snatched.
I'm actually just asking you did you see people spending money at the club?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see World spend money at the club?
Yeah. We used to spend some money.
How much money?
Not a lot, but in the nightclub, there's only so much you can spend, If you buy a bottle of champagne, or two,
You said you spent time with him alone as well. And again, I'm talking about approximately 2,000. Does that sound right to you, timing-wise?
Yes.
What would you do with him alone?
I would usually go and pick him up.
And that was in your Mercedes?
Yes. I would go pick him up where he was living in Manhattan.
And what did you do?
And we would drive he'd say, "Oh, let's stop by this guy's house or that guy's house." Sometimes people who I had never met before. We'd stay for like a half hour or so. He'd talk to them and leave and went.